Extreme discipline changes you so deeply that people no longer recognize who you are. That is the real goal. Miyamoto Musashi reached this state and became the greatest samurai philosopher in history. His Book of Five Rings lays out a complete system for developing such discipline. These 5 rings present 5 principles that reshape you from weak to relentless. By the end, you will understand exactly how to apply them to build discipline that feels almost unreal. We begin with the Earth Ring, which shows you how far you truly are from where you think you stand. The Earth Ring teaches ruthless self-evaluation. Most people believe they are busy. They are not. They are distracted. Musashi wrote that the way of the warrior is the dual path of the pen and the sword, meaning the mind and the body must be trained equally. But before that, you must clearly see the true condition of both. After defeating Sasaki Kojiro in his most famous duel, Musashi did not celebrate. He vanished into a cave for 2 years. Instead of enjoying victory, he studied his own flaws. The man who won spent years analyzing why he almost lost. This is Earth Ring thinking. Let's see how this looks today. Imagine someone who believes he is highly productive. Let's call him Gohan. He wakes up exhausted, grabs his phone, and checks messages in bed, convincing himself he's already being productive. He arrives at work late, opens countless browser tabs, jumps endlessly between tasks. Lunch turns into 90 minutes of YouTube. The afternoon is more tab switching, more phone checking. He gets home by evening, drained from a day of work. Sound familiar? Gohan decided to track every minute of his time for 1 full week. The results were brutal. 6 hours a day on his phone, 2 hours of real focused work, 8 hours of activity that produced nothing. This is the Earth Ring principle. Know the smallest details and the biggest picture. Musashi meant understanding every detail and the whole truth at once. Most people understand neither. Time tracking reveals the reality. You are not busy. You are unfocused. You don't have a time problem. You have a focus problem. You don't need more hours. You need to use the ones you already have. This realization hit Gohan hard. He wasn't a productivity machine battling time. He was addicted to distraction and lying to himself. His full schedule was nothing but empty motion. His exhaustion was self-created. Most people are truly productive only 2 or 3 hours per day. The rest is fake work, busy work, and avoidance disguised as effort. This is why motivation fails. You cannot motivate yourself out of self-deception. You need Earth Ring honesty first. Track everything. Face the uncomfortable truth. Admit that you have been lying to yourself. Reality does not care about your excuses. Musashi didn't either. In Dokodo, he wrote, "Accept everything just the way it is, not as you wish it to be." Once Gohan saw his real numbers, everything changed. Not because he tried harder, but because he could no longer ignore the truth. 6 hours on his phone, 2 hours of real work. Those numbers burned into his mind. But here's the next challenge. Knowing your weakness is only the first step. What happens when you try to change? When you actually attempt discipline? The Water Ring appears. The Earth Ring reveals reality. The Water Ring teaches you how to act when reality resists you. Gohan saw the truth and responded with an extreme plan. Wake up at 4 in the morning, 2-hour workouts, 8 hours of deep work, cold showers, meditation, reading every night. On the first day, he lasted 2 hours. Then he collapsed. By noon, everything was abandoned. This is where the Water Ring saves you. Musashi wrote that water takes the shape of its container. People think this means flexibility. It doesn't. It means stop attacking reality with fantasy plans. Few people know that early in his career, Musashi never used the same weapon twice in his first 20 duels. Sword, spear, wooden staff, bare hands. Why? Because rigid strategies fail when reality fights back. Gohan made the same mistake everyone does. You see your weakness and create a perfect, inflexible schedule. Then reality hits, you fail, and you quit, blaming a lack of discipline. That's wrong. The problem is not discipline. The problem is rigidity. So, Gohan adjusted. Instead of waking up at 4, he woke up 30 minutes earlier than usual. Instead of 2-hour workouts, he did 10 push-ups. Instead of 8 hours of deep work, he focused for 25 minutes, then rested. It felt pathetic, until the second week when he realized he had completed 70 push-ups and nearly 3 hours of focused work without quitting once. This is the water ring in action. Flow around obstacles instead of smashing into them. Can't do 100 push-ups? Do 10. Can't read a chapter? Read 1 page. Can't meditate for 20 minutes? Do 2.
Even Musashi began with wooden swords. He practiced basic cuts for years before his first true duel. The genius of this approach is simple. Musashi wrote that in strategy, you make the enemy believe you are far when you are near. Applied to discipline, make the task think it is defeating you while you are quietly winning. Every small victory reshapes your identity. You become someone who does not quit. Gohan realized discipline is not about heroic effort, it is about constant adjustment. As tasks became easier, he slowly increased them. Water does not break stone with force, it wears it down through persistence. By the 4th week, Gohan was waking up earlier naturally, training daily, and completing hours of focused work. Not because he forced himself, but because he flowed toward it. But then a darker challenge appeared. Once progress begins, a new enemy arrives. This enemy has destroyed more warriors than any external threat. The fire ring explains what happens when you start winning. Gohan noticed others lifting more, earning more, achieving more. Anger and shame surfaced. He skipped one workout, then another. The collapse began. Musashi wrote about fire as something that spreads, consumes, and transforms. Most people let anger destroy them. Warriors use it to forge themselves. Musashi lost his father at a young age and turned rage into routine. His fury fueled relentless training, but he aimed it at his weaknesses, not at himself. He warned against jealousy, not because it is immoral, but because it wastes valuable energy. Every moment spent resenting others could be used to eliminate your own mediocrity. Anger at weakness is fuel, not failure. Gohan's shift happened instantly. Instead of saying, "I'm pathetic," he said, "I refuse to stay this way." Same emotion, new direction. That inner voice is not your enemy, it is your drill instructor. The mistake is attacking yourself instead of attacking the problem. Each night, Gohan wrote down exactly what angered him about the day and converted it into tomorrow's mission. Weak workout, increase tomorrow's minimum. Phone distractions, phone goes in another room. Bad food choices, meals prepared in advance. Emotions are energy. What matters is where you aim them. Within weeks, his progress accelerated, not because of motivation, but because anger was finally used with purpose. But success creates another danger. What happens when discipline starts working too well? The wind ring exists for that moment. After months of progress, Gohan began to believe he had mastered discipline. He stopped tracking, he relaxed his systems. One missed session became many. Half his progress disappeared. Musashi wrote about other schools of strategy, not to boast, but to remind himself that he was always a student. Even undefeated, he claimed he had not reached the true path. The real enemy is not others. It is the version of you that believes you have arrived. Tracking keeps you honest. The moment you believe you no longer need systems is the moment decline begins. Every level of discipline brings a new challenge. Starting, maintaining, and finally staying humble while winning. Gohan adopted a new rule. Every month, study someone better, someone whose discipline exposes your limits. Use discomfort as direction. This curiosity kept him sharp and prevented arrogance from replacing growth. The final lesson is the hardest, the void ring. Months later, Gohan faced an existential truth. This never ends.
discipline does not become easy, the war continues forever. The void teaches acceptance. Accept reality. Discipline is not a path to comfort, it is a way of life. Most people quit because they believe discipline is a bridge to ease. When they realize the bridge never ends, they stop walking. The question shifts, not when does it get easier, but what battle must I fight today? You do not become disciplined because things get easy. You become someone who does hard things naturally. Musashi painted, wrote, and trained daily not for results, but because that was the way of the warrior. Gohan finally understood. The habits were not steps towards a destination, they were the destination. The void is not emptiness, it is acceptance. Accepting that the struggle never ends. And when you accept that, the struggle disappears. Discipline becomes as natural as breathing. Earth shows you reality. Water teaches adaptation. Fire fuels growth. Wind preserves humility. Void makes discipline permanent. The rings are waiting. The only question is, are you?